Welcome back, guys. I'm here to talk to you guys about this movie that was recently released on video on demand, and it's called Stillborn. This movie is about a mother who has twins. Unfortunately, one of them doesn't live, but that's not all. There's an evil presence or this demon that's out to take little Adam away from this family. Now, this movie came to a surprise to me because I really didn't know much about it, and I really never heard about it. I just kind of saw it on forums, and I saw that it was doing good on like Rotten Tomatoes, and some other people had reviewed it, had talked really highly about this movie. But I like a lot of the horror elements in this film. I like how the story is told. One thing that the director does is that he uses the way that the baby cries a lot throughout the film to build suspense, and I think he does that fantastically because, I mean, when you hear a baby cry, one of the few things you want to do is like console them or just basically, you know, shut them up because nobody wants to hear a baby cry, you know. Chrstie, Burke, and Jessee are the stars in this film. They are the parents. Chrstie, who plays Mary, is a housewife while Jack is away doing business and like doing deals. So he's away for most of the time. He's never really home. And while this happens, you know, we are introduced to this demon presence. For about half of the film, we really don't understand, you know, why this is happening. And for the most part, for me, it kind of works because it keeps me interested into finding out what happens. But at the same time, we don't really get a lot of answers towards the end, you know? But that's kind of where I go into my issue with this film is that, you know, even though there is a scene where Mary miraculously finds information that matches her situation, after that, she goes to meet this mother who kind of experienced the same thing. But I felt like I wanted to learn more out of that scene right there. It felt rushed, and I felt like the scene was rushed because of the runtime of the film. So in a way, I wish there was more information and more like backstory to this because, I mean, in a movie where there's a demon, usually, you know, an audience member wants to know more about this demon and, you know, why it's haunting this particular family. It's kind of like mainly dropped as hints throughout the film, which I kind of like, you know, I mean, it makes you come up with your own assumptions, but aside from that, you know, the assumptions are just all over the place for me. But aside from that, I think the director did a great job in telling the story. Now, as a horror fan, I wouldn't say that I was terrified. There were some great jump scares in the film itself. I usually get annoyed by jump scares, but I feel like the director knew that these jump scares were going to be predictable. So I like how he built up the suspense to these jump scares because they weren't just like out of the blue. He actually kind of like made us like watch a shot and linger on that shot for a very long time until the jump scare came. And it wasn't like a jump scare. It's like more like if a slow panning of the scream leading up to a jump scare. So I really like that. And usually, like I said, you know, jump scares kind of annoy me, but this film did a good job in doing that. The movie itself does start off a little bit slow, but in a lot of horror movies like this, it starts off slow, kind of just to like introduce us to the family and like different characters in the film. But, you know, as the movie progresses, it starts to pick up as, you know, things start to happen between Mary and this demon with little Adam. In a way, the neighbor is probably the weakest character in this film, but I'm not saying she's terrible or she was a bad actress. I just feel like her character could have been played by anybody, really. The demon itself in this film was actually pretty creepy. I really liked the look and how it moved and, you know, how it talked. It kind of reminded me of the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. I don't know if that was just me. Also, its voice, whenever you would hear it, for some reason, I started to giggle at one point. Like, I don't know why. I felt like it was kind of goofy, but, you know, after a while, I really dug it because they would use like these old like cassette recordings and they would go back and listen to them. I liked the demon, and I thought that the way that they introduced it was pretty cool because there was a good scene where they're in the hallway and, you know, it confronts him, and it was very creepy, and I think it was very well done because it was effective. But aside from the horror, I like how psychological this movie gets with Mary because in the beginning, we just see her as a normal person. You know, she's this wife, you know, she's a housewife because of Jack's work. But once these things start to happen to her, you know, part of me wants to blame her for all the shit that's going on because she won't let go of the past and she won't open up about her situation at home. Like, she just wants to keep everything bottled in. But at the same time, I feel really bad for her. Like, I want to sympathize with her. And I think the way that this movie was directed works in that favor because by the end of the film, it's like I'm kind of on both sides with her, you know, like I want to blame her, but at the same time, you know, I understand why she's doing the things that she's gonna do, which are crazy. So I like the way that this character evolves from beginning to end, and it's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, basically. Like, she's a completely different person. The one scene that you guys probably see in the trailer where she's in the bath kind of reminded me of The Shining, except it's very creepy, and it involves a baby. Anytime I see a baby in danger or like a dog, I get terrified. I don't know why. And also, aside from that, the ending was pretty well done. I actually like how we are left exploring more about this demon, and it kind of becomes ambiguous at the end because you don't really know what they see. You can kind of guess from the reaction from their face. But yeah, guys, in the end, I do really recommend this movie if you're a big fan of horror, especially like paranormal kind of movies or movies dealing with ghosts or demons. I really like the cast, which mainly was two people and then the neighbor. I like the whole concept of this, especially not really knowing what I was gonna watch, and you know, the way that the director does the whole thing with the baby and like the build up to the jump scares, I think that was very well done. So I'm gonna give this movie a 3.4 out of 5. I recommend it. It's on VOD. I think it was on YouTube as well. There's a lot of platforms out there. I'm pretty sure Amazon has it now, so make sure to check it out. Also, make sure to check out my top 10 favorite movies of 2017. I should have posted that maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, so go and check that out. So make sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. Hit the little bell for notifications. Also, if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. But as always, guys, stay tuned.